keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same? 1% trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching at home, DCK Productions proudly brings to you the greatest podcast in the world! The greatest podcast in the world? Suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. I appreciate it if you both suck it. Suck it!
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go. And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How the fuck is everybody tonight? I am still sick as shit. I still have strep fucking throat. Can't even fucking eat, and it sucks, but oh well. I will make it through. This has been bothering me since like Thursday, but it's slowly but surely getting better. But anyway, so how the fuck was everybody else's weekend? Mine was pretty good. It was pretty chill. Saturday night, got to go perform some comedy. Finally, after fucking 5 months of not doing anything. So that was fun. It was a great show. Small turnout, but that was to be expected. But, you know, the live stream went really well and got a bunch of viewers on there. So, you know, got to promote some local talent. So that was fun. But overall, it's been a great weekend. And now we're kicking off even better week. Change the ticker. But, you know, we got some awesome shit going down for you this week. So tonight, I have an amazing guest. We'll get to him in a minute. And then tomorrow, I've got not one, but 2 performances for you guys. And the band Trenched will be on performing. And then country music star Kimberly Dawn will be performing after that. And then on Wednesday, we've got an amazing performance from a local Maryland band that's unsigned called Kings of the Wild Things. And then Thursday, unfortunately, the band Impulse is canceled because they all got corona. So I will not have a performance for you guys on Thursday unless I can get somebody else rebooked. But we got a great week of interviews and live performances going on. So let's just get right to it. So my guest tonight is a very, very unique individual. Has basically pioneered a whole new style of music. It's not even a style of rap or rock or pop. It's just unlike anything I've ever heard before. I particularly think it sounds metal, but you know, he calls it horror pop. So I guess we'll get to it and find out more about it. But without further ado, my guest tonight, Mr. Jason Chaos. Hey buddy, how are you?
Hey, what's up guys? How's everyone doing tonight? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I'm doing great.
My friend Set Wolf, by the way, says hello. She's just hanging out. See
just
her,
hanging
guys.
out?
Yeah. Always hangs out with us in the shows. Yeah.
Hey, that's what matters. So how's everything going for you, bud? How's things going throughout this shitty time in America?
It's actually it's pretty interesting, to be honest. It's good and bad, I would say. You know, bad for, you know, to the ones that are getting sick and losing their jobs, but good, I guess, a little bit for, you know, starting over, you know, it's like a reset. You know, I feel like it's going to be a reset kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. So what have you been doing to keep busy during this time? I know you've got a bunch of shit coming out, so.
Actually, I've been the most busiest as ever in this time. It's insane because everything's online that we're doing. We're starting to do these online parties with Trax Records, a very legendary label for house music. I don't know if you heard about them, but we do a party for them every Saturday. It's called Trax Party, and it's been going really well. I think we're almost 20 weeks. We've been start doing it since everything got shut down. Keeping everyone alive, and we have all these promoters, so we don't want to lose them and lose contact, and keep the culture still alive. But virtual.
Absolutely. So tell us about who you are, because let me tell you what, dude, you are a complicated individual. Everything I've listened to, everything I've read, everything I've seen about you just doesn't tell the whole picture. So why don't you go ahead and give, me and my audience a little bit about you.
Well, it's funny that you say that because there's actually two of me. So some people get confused with me. I am Lux Lightbringer, and there's another individual. His name is Blackout with darker hair. And Jason Chaos is like the artist that created these two individuals. So they're together in a band. They look exactly like identical twins. So some songs you would hear, it sounds like Lux or it sounds like Blackout. And starting off with my career, I used to be a big club kid. Not like famous, but I used to be in the New York City going to clubs in the age of 14. I guess I was, really tall, grew up fast. It was that time, was born in 1982. So we were like that last generation where we wanted to go to clubs and get in with fake IDs. And I was hanging out with the actual club kids in New York City, like Michael Alec at Disco 2000, Screamin' Rachel, and all that whole gang since 14 till like 20. Then I start meeting some, long story short, I kind of like start tattooing these black circle cults for black metal. And slowly from there, I start playing music, tattooing these cults. And out of nowhere, I end up going to Sweden and playing with Dissection from 2004 to 2006.
Oh shit!
I don't know if you heard about them. If you're into,
I am a hardcore metal dude, so
you definitely know Dissection, right?
Yep.
So John is a very good friend of mine, and when he passed away, it was very it was a big trauma for all of us. And
I can imagine.
After all that was like in 2006. So from when I came back to New York in 2006, I basically just like worked, did tattoos, went to my home for 4 years straight, locked myself. I was really upset. Do tattoos, go home, sleep for 4 years till like 2010. I started dating a girl that was a dancer for a new nightlife personal that's running the city instead of how Michael Alec was running the city. And that's how I started doing nightlife again. And from 2010 to 10 years now, it's beautiful and awesome. But I've been around, I'm that guy that's in the mix with all the categories of nightlife. I have promoters, the goth promoters, the drag queens, the gays, the regular people, vampires, the kink folks. So I'm like their ringleader, and I put them in events and book them up and all that. So it's pretty cool because I'm like mixed with all this kind of crowds. Plus my background comes from black metal. So it's fun, man.
So then how did you get involved in the rap scene?
So I literally just started doing rap and doing vocals in 2016. I used to just play guitar and music for other bands like for many, many years. And I got tired of it and wanted to do my own band, which was called Hell Cell in 2016. And then I found out that it was even harder to, put a band together because you got to keep up with everybody and it was worse. I was just happy before, just coming in, playing my guitar and leave. So I got tired of the band and I just went out solo just last year in 2019. And the best thing I ever did in my life, just work for yourself and hire the guitar players and anyone that you want for your shows. And that's all.
So you just started doing the vocals. So how does Hell Cell compare to what you're doing now?
Hell Cell was a band that was like, we were all like creatures of the night. Like Lux Lightbringer was the lead singer. That's a character that I play. And he basically was living in hell, but he had like a job to do, like protect all the spirits, but he just gave up and came down to earth and met this really gothic kid named Blackout, and they got in together and they made a band called Hell Cell. And that's where you see both of them are singing and they sound very different, but they're identical twins. And our bass player was a vampire, our drummer was a werewolf, and we had like this dark thug life friend of ours that was helping us, you know, do the beats and DJing, like the Dr. Dre kind of guy with our time. And it was really cool, you know, at first. So that kind of music was really when we started that Gothic rap. You know, we had that more, we were like rapping with like, with Gothic vocals. I don't know, I forgot the word, what they say, like the New Region bands, when they like shout out like this, and like,
yeah,
rap. What is it called again?
For as far as the rock side goes or the rap side goes?
The vocal, like the vocal. The way
well, I mean, it's screaming. I mean,
it's not screaming. It's something
screaming
else.
Or screamo or screeching or growling.
That's right. Yeah, screeching. So it was more like screeching, and we just put the screeching and rapping and just, you know, just do the same thing as like hip hop and rap, but, you know, mix a little bit like, you know, the Gothic tunes and, you know, the feeling and the vibe, you know. So it's something cool and interesting because, you know, I grew up listening to rap and hip hop, and I love Gothic music as well. I'm inspired by Rosetta Stone mostly, and I just a little cocktail of everything, really, you know.
So I listened to the song today, Ghost Fuck.
Yes.
And that song is pretty fucking black metal. I mean, I hear the rap influence in it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's so unique. Like, I mean, it's like, you know, the best of, like I said earlier, I mean, it's not rock, it's not rap, it's not metal. I mean, I don't even know what it is, but it's
horror pop.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, but it still has that dark metal, you know, black metal, heavy thrash vibe to it as well. And I dig that because you're taking something that, you know, obviously you're doing something that's never been done before, but that it could appeal to the masses in a way that nothing else can be done. And I think that's pretty fucking cool. So I commend you on that. So I heard, I didn't hear, that you've got some collaborations coming out, or you're doing some collaborations with Grandmaster Mel Mel.
That's right. Yes, we actually released our song last Friday. It's called Concrete Shaken. You could find it on all platforms, produced by Seven Crown Records. And we've been getting a lot of cool press. And, you know, Melly Mel is really awesome to work with. And he came to the studio and he's like, Jason, you know, when I come to the studio, I don't write things down. I come in 5 minutes and I'm out. I'm like, okay. And he did exactly what he did. And other artists I used to work with, they would come to the studio and like write, you know, what they're gonna do, their verse and all that. And I was really impressed by him, and I love him, you know. Oh, sorry about that.
You're good.
Yeah. So yeah, I love him because I grew up listening to him. So it was really fun having him on the track, you know. Yeah. And you know, the song Concrete Shaken, it kind of has that same vibe and feel as one of his songs called New York, New York, Big City of Dreams. I don't know if you heard that.
Yep.
80s rap. So we kind of had that kind of vibe. And it was awesome also because he was also a pioneer, that he was like the first guy who bust a rhyme to a beat Like I made a whole complete sentence, and I'm one of the guys in New York City that started the Gothic rap and the horror pop. So it was really cool. And I told him about that, and he was just so happy about it. And we were just talking about our looks, like how it was all about the looks back in the 80s. And me and him and I agree that today the music, everyone just dress up like regular people. And, you know, he was happy that like I was still trying to put that together, you know, so it was cool.
So you and I are the same age. You're younger than I am, which I think is pretty fucking cool. That you're still you're just now kind of breaking free and doing your own thing at the age that you're at. And I'm doing the same thing. I mean, this is all still new to me, but you know what? I'm taking off in ways I never imagined right now.
But wait, before you say anything, didn't we have the best era, the last best era?
I think we fucking did. Hell yeah.
We did, right?
Yeah, I mean, because looking back as far as God, I mean, my first album that I ever owned was the Thriller album. And I mean, Michael Jackson was my biggest influence of all time. I mean, listening to that, got me into music. And then I discovered this amazing thing called thrash in 1988, thanks to a lovely band called Metallica and Injustice for All. Yep. And then my whole world changed. And, it was a whole transitional thing. But I mean, we had, we were around to see the very first time rap and rock ever mixed together with Anthrax and fucking Public Enemy doing their very first thing in the late 80s before, Run DMC and Aerosmith or anyone else ever fucking did it. So, I mean, then we got to see the evolution of fucking, Nirvana and Pearl Jam and that fucking shit. And then just all the things that have come about. So hell yeah, I think we are, because I mean, the stuff that's coming out today, with the exception of a handful of bands, groups, are fucking it up for what we used to have. I mean, like,
it's different for sure. Yeah.
No offense if you're friends with any of them, but like that mumble rap shit, needs to go away.
I agree. I agree.
I'm glad, because I've had a lot of rappers on here that have said the exact same thing. So thank God on that one. But it's like, the mumble rap needs to go away. And then like, I love the fact that there's so many genres of metal and rock and stuff like that, and so many different genres of rap and the same thing. But I liked it back in the day when it was like 3 or 4 different types of each. And now we've got so much different stuff, and we're constantly battling, oh, this is better than that, or this is better than that, or I don't dig it as much, but at the same time, I love how much is out there.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But you know what? I found out that like we are lucky because we lived in the best of the 2 centuries, the last of the 1900s and the beginning of this century, and we get to like start a whole new era that could just keep going on for the next 100 years. So It's cool these guys are messing up or whatever they're doing or mumbling and all that, because there's no real like new style right now. So this is a great opportunity for all of us, even the young kids. The young kids, I've noticed, they don't know anything about music I've grown up with, or like I would play a song, because I also DJ, and I told one 20-year-old, like, what band you think this is from? And they're like, oh, I don't know the band. It was Depeche Mode. And it's kind of like depressing to hear that. But in the same time, it's cool, because you know what? This is the time when we could just start something new, and we're older, and guide the kids to a nice environment and with style. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, especially with the horror genre. Because there's another group that's doing similar horror stuff, but on the metal side. That's newer. They've been around for a long time, but they've just now started to get mainstream. It's a band called Ice Nine Kills. They're out of Massachusetts.
I heard about them. I know about them.
Okay.
They're cool.
So they're one of my favorite fucking bands right now. I mean, their last album was a concept album that was literally based on a horror. Every song was based on a different horror movie. 12 songs of just fucking amazingness.
It's amazing.
And and what was really cool about it was they did a bunch of different videos. with their songs, and they tied them all together to basically make this one long hour-long movie. And it was really fucking interesting how they did it. But like, that's the kind of creativity that I'm not seeing a lot of these days. You know, what you've got going on, what they've got going on. You know, I mean, there's other bands that I just dig what they do. But it's like the creativity is lost, I feel.
Yes, exactly. The creativity is lost. And, you know, everyone's dressing up like these regular guys and making like regular basic music. We want to try to do like some kind of shock value and at the same time, like put a story and have something that relates to other people out there too, like their own stories, so they could like relate to the song. Like the song Ghost Fuck, it's just a weird song. Like when I wrote it, it's like I wrote it like if we were like in love with the spirit. And like if we were the spirit going after the ones that we love, like we're haunting them or they're haunting us. And you know, it's just like I feel like it's just a whole scary movie in the track, you know, that 4-minute song. And I think people, you know, shouldn't be doing that, but like do something like that, like put some style, put some theme to your songs, you know. And you know, that band also from Massachusetts is good with that too. I like to see more of that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of generic stuff out there, but at the same time, there is still a lot of good stuff. But unfortunately, that good stuff gets swallowed up by the stuff that sucks because, you know, these young kids just don't understand what we did. And I just had a comment come in that said, that much just must be in New York because other states actually know old music. And I agree with that as well. I mean, a lot of states do know old music, but at the same time, I feel it's being a lot of the stuff like from our generation. Like if you go on to any classic rock station, you'll hear Nirvana now. You'll hear fucking Metallica and stuff like that. So, I mean, the kids our days, you know, it's hard to say that we're not even fucking 40 yet. And the music that we grew up with is on a classic rock station. So there's no way you're going to get a 15, 16-year-old to turn on a classic rock station. It's very fucking rare to be able to do that.
That's so cool that you mentioned that because I was actually thinking about that. And you know what? I'm sorry to say, but I feel like these radio stations shouldn't be playing these songs anymore, but should be playing these kind of songs like remade or and introduce the old ones again, like where it came from. Because, you know, to these new kids, it sounds campy for them, kind of. Or like if we watch the Lost Boys, you know, from the 80s, but like I try to show Lost Boys to a cousin of mine that was like 18, they don't feel it like how we did. Like it's campy to them. So I think it's bad that they still play these old music, but in the same time, it's good because they are beautiful and great music that only exists. Like there's nothing greater than that. But I feel like people got to start going out there and make something new, and like, you know, like create a new Batman movie. Same thing. Create a new Superman movie. Let's create a new Nirvana song or something, you know. But I don't know. That's my opinion, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the way I've seen it too is like, because I have a daughter who's 18, and
wow.
yeah, started young. So she likes that whole mumble rap shit, but at the same time, until she moved back home to her mom, she was my concert buddy. So I mean, her and I would always go. Like I remember 3 years ago, her and I went to go see Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, and Volbeat together. So she had a hell of a time. She loves that type of music, but at the same time, she loves her rap too. So, but at the same time, she'll never admit to her friends that she loves the metal. She'll only admit that she likes the rap side. And I feel that a lot with, you know, kids these days, you know, that and I feel so fucking old by saying that, but that they don't appreciate what led them to today. Even there was this one fucking mumble rapper, can't remember his name, Little Xan or some bullshit, came out and saying that he was a better rapper than Tupac, and Tupac in that era sucked. It's like, who the fuck, dude? These kids have no fucking appreciation for where they came from.
That's why they shouldn't be listening to those kind of music anymore on the radio, you know, especially in this time today, 2020. We should have new stuff now. It's been a long gap since 2020 from the great era we had in the 90s. After the 90s, is nothing been great going on except for raves and like electronic music. So, you know, I mean, they won't really appreciate Tupac or these kind of people. It's sad. It's very, you know, disturbing. But again, I feel like these radio stations should like move up too, you know, like start playing like our music, or, you know, playing these new people's music, you know?
Yeah, but unfortunately, terrestrial radio, as far as like, you know, even K-Rock or anybody else, you know, they're not going to ever play, you know, that kind of stuff. They're going to play this eclectic mix of just shit because that's what sells. So, I mean, personally, I don't listen to terrestrial radio at all anymore. Yes. I listen to Sirius XM, and that's it, because Sirius XM does a great job of saying this is only 80s music. This is only 90s music. Here is hard rock of today. Here's hard rock of yesterday. You know, here's yesterday's rap. Here's today's rap. And they do a good job of dividing that. And you can actually choose for yourself what the fuck you want to listen to, versus listening to even DC 101, my rock station here, which fucking sucks. You know, doesn't even play rock, but yet they call themselves a rock station. It's like, what the fuck? I can't get over it. But if you're listening to terrestrial radio, you're missing out. You need to be listening to.
I heard about that. Baby. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to Sirius XM is where you need to be. That's where you need to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not listening to that, you're just listening to a regular old radio station. Just you're missing out.
I actually came from Idaho a couple weeks ago. I went to go see my girlfriend over there, and we were eating in some restaurants, and they were actually playing these old music in the restaurant, and it feels cool to listen to that. But I feel that town is like kind of stuck with that kind of music, and you know, like again, like, you know, we gotta move on, everybody. You know, with the radio station. Start playing these new kids, like these underground music, and try to make it sell, you know? Because, I mean, I don't know, man. What do you think? Because, like, I feel like this thing is going to go on for, like, another 10, 20 years. They can still play these musics from the 90s and the 80s, which, don't get me wrong, I love the 90s and the 80s. But, you know, let's remake them, maybe. I don't know. You know
well, unless, yeah, I mean, but as far as like regular radio stations that are just, you know, everywhere, unless you're signed to a major label, and you have that major money behind you, you're never going to get played. But like, if you subscribe to Sirius XM, you know, they will actually play the unsigned artists, and they will play people that don't have a backing, and will help them get, you know, a backing. And they do that all the time. And I think that's, like I said, that's where it's at, because that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. But at the same time, you got, you know, places like Spotify and, you know, Apple Music and, you know, fucking Google Play, where you can upload your own music and start your own label, quote unquote, by putting your music out there for people to buy on their own. So, I mean, you don't even need that anymore.
Or, you know what will be better? Like this restaurant I went to in Idaho, or any other place that plays the same old music. Imagine you go in a place and watching the same movies over and over. It's kind of like, you know, let's move on. But anyway, what if we did a good idea for all these places, like in Idaho, like, you know, these places, whatever, they have a jukebox where there's Spotify on it, and, you know, all these music platforms, and we could actually play new stuff. And, you know, I think that would be a cool idea if all these restaurants or diners start doing that.
So basically like a Spotify jukebox. That'd be pretty fucking cool. That'd actually be pretty rad. I would actually dig that a lot. And another comment just came through, said, don't judge Idaho. You're just in a small town.
I actually love Idaho. You know, I was just there. And 2 weeks ago, and we actually, me and my girlfriend and her friends, we did a live stream set for Trax Records in the cemetery over a serial killer's tombstone. And, you know, we were loud, the lights were there, and, you know, everyone was really nice and loved it, you know. And they actually, you know, I feel like Idaho is like that kind of town when a lot of people know each other or whatever it is. But they're very good people. I loved everyone in Idaho. You know, Idaho people, everyone's hair there is colored. No matter what, even the old ladies, they color their hair. It's so cool. It's like if you're on Grand Theft Auto, the game, you know, and you put the cheat code everyone colors your hair.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going back. I'll always go back. They asked me to go back again to do more parties and shows. You know, I use Idaho as an example for the music they play in the restaurants, because I feel like that's in a lot of places that are, you know, like in those kind of small towns, you know.
Yeah.
But we want to make those small towns, you know, excited and like listen to us more. You know, go out there and DJ in a cemetery, or, you know, just make some noise, something, you know.
Absolutely. So where do you see yourself going? I mean, do you see yourself continuing with the DJ party scene? Do you see yourself continuing on your own individual music? Do you want to do both? I mean, what's your path?
My path is trying to get three things all in one stone. So that's, four things in one stone. So basically, I'm a big party promoter in New York City, and I plan events. I have a team of promoters, and what I like to do is like introduce more bands or musicians, tattoo them up, give them artwork, and then do a party for them, you know, have them do a release song party for them, you know. And I love doing that, because in the same time, that's good for promotion for me, for them. We're all like working together. But I like to do the most thing I really want to do is focus on my music. And I do feel like I've been giving a lot of my time to others. So I'm like in between that. So according to this pandemic, I had a lot of things to think about. And I think once we're back, when life gets back to normal, that I will be separating myself a lot from nightlife and just be touring and just working with a lot of different record labels.
That's awesome.
And I will still be there in nightlife, but my promoters will. I always keep in contacts. I'm still good friends with all the club owners, so we do have a business together. But I won't necessarily will have to be there, you know. So,
gotcha. Absolutely. No, I agree with you on that. And by the way, if you ever come down to the DC area, look me up, because I need some new work done.
Definitely. Let me see what you got there. I saw something in your arm.
I have a full sleeve. So I mean, it's all just eclectic.
Is it like a story or a theme?
It's a story.
Something?
It's a story theme. Yeah. So it's a galaxy theme, and it just has basically a little bit of everything that's important to me. So it's like my universe. So that's
Nice.
my one sleeve, and I want to start working on my other one.
I got you, man. Definitely.
So when it comes to your music, do you feel there's money and worth in putting out an album, or do you feel singles and EPs are the way to go?
So yes, that's a really good question, because you know what, there is no money in this business. Kind of, the real money comes from your own shows. I make money from my shows and my parties. I feel like everyone out there is putting everything in the open, or at least all these artists are working hard on themselves, their own projects, but no one's really looking at other people's projects, you know. So the internet is really bad, and at the same time it's really good for musicians, but it is really kind of killing everything, you know, for musicians. And I just believe that if you really want to make money, you got to get to the right connect. You know, like with my songs, I feel like if it went on the right hands of someone, we would go viral like instant. You know, it's all about that connection. And it's very small, sadly to say, that you know, all artists work hard, and sometimes they don't go anywhere unless they die, or you know their stuff becomes valuable, or you just gotta get that connect. But in the end of the day, yes, you can make money from doing this in your parties and your shows. Yes.
So then you're going to be able to, so I guess let me rephrase the question then. So do you plan on putting out, I mean, because you gotta get people to know your music before you go out and do a show. So are you going to be putting out just singles, or is that pretty much how you're going to be doing it, and then introducing it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing singles, and then once I hit like an album full of singles, then we'll make an album, and then there will be like a special deal to buy the whole album. instead of buying all these songs for $1. So yeah.
Okay. Because I believe that's the way to go. I mean, I believe, putting together a full length album, spending a year in the studio, and then just pushing it out. No, that's not the way to do it anymore.
Especially for new artists too, is not a good idea.
Well, I mean, even veteran artists aren't doing it anymore. So, like, one of my favorite bands is Falling in Reverse. And Falling in Reverse, the lead singer, Ronnie Radke, said that they're no longer putting out albums. They're only going to put out singles every 3 or 4 months. And, just when you start to miss them, they're going to put out another song. And then so on and so forth. And then once they put out a few, then they'll go on tour, but they can't tour right now anyway. So he's literally just spending 24 hours a day on Twitch, that guy right now. But that's the truth. But, I mean, if you can't go out on tour, what is your plans? I mean, because before the end of the year, we're not even sure what's going to happen. So what are your plans the rest of the year?
I think this is a good time just to take a break and just start working on your projects, because we're going to have a big reset coming up. Once the reset comes, then we're ready. I actually really love this time right now. Sorry to say, but I am doing so much right now that I have never done before. I never even DJ'd before. I just started DJing. I used to hire DJs and didn't even care shit about them because I was focusing with the party. But I didn't know that the DJ is actually really important. The DJ could make the party if they want it, Mm-hmm. So I've never DJ'd and I love it. And now I start doing more art with sound that I never really have done, because I have my producers do it and all that, because I'm just an artist. I draw. But imagine just drawing visual and turning it into sound is so good,
Yeah, that's awesome. Because right now, I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, because I'm doing things right now that I've never imagined that I would. I started the show 7 months ago, 6-7 months ago, right when everything started to, kind of start to freak out about. And now it's turned into a full-time job to where I don't do anything else but this. And
it's cool
hard
that you're doing this too.
Yeah, it's hard though. I mean, to be totally honest with you, I mean, I was doing this in a full-time job, but because of this show and the things I say and the things I do on this show, actually made me lose my job. Because they didn't like the way I was.
That's not nice, though.
They didn't like my public image.
Oh, no, tell them to go beep themselves.
Oh, I am. Every night that I talk to a guest and they ask me about this, and I talk to them about it, that's exactly what I'm doing. They can go fuck themselves. I don't give a shit.
Because so we could curse. Cool.
Oh.
So let me do that again. Just tell them to go fuck themselves.
This is internet radio, bud. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
All right, cool. Because I've got in trouble over that for many times, and it's like it cost them fines and all that. They're telling me so.
I
didn't want you to pay a fine or something.
I don't listen to the FCC. They can kiss my ass too.
Okay, cool.
I'll never be on public. No, this is my show. I do it the way I want to do it, and that's
Good.
The way it is.
I like it.
Just like I don't allow PR reps to send me a list of questions to say only ask these questions. No, I don't do that.
Yeah.
If you want your person to come on my show, we're gonna have a real conversation.
Great. I love it. I love the open book, like just be yourself, conversation. I don't like to hide. I don't like to be nervous about what I got to say. We just got to do it. Fuck it. Hurt their ears.
Exactly. Because I want the real. I want the real.
Yeah.
Because I'm a real guy. I suffer from a lot of mental illnesses. And so, one of the ways it is what it is. I mean, I cope with it on a daily basis by doing this show and by talking to people like you and everybody else that I've talked to. And it helps. So, I mean, being able to talk about my shit and talking to you about your shit
is good. And, imagine
Absolutely.
Someone tells you, hey, you can't say that. You're in a show. Go fuck yourself, man. Let's hear that you have an illness. It's okay. If you know you have an illness and you admit it, then you are smart.
Oh, I mean, I've built the show on that. I've built this show on that premise. Because, again, I want people to know, yeah, I've attempted suicide twice. Yeah, I have bipolar disorder. Yeah, I have extreme anxiety. but I still come on this show every day, and I'm still able to talk to celebrities and, do this and do that. I'm writing a movie right now and all this other shit. I don't care what that leads to, but all I know is it's going to lead to somebody feeling better about themselves.
That's good, man. And you know what? Everyone should be doing that, by the way. We should see, this is the thing I'm talking about. What if it's like a new century that we are creating like that, And it's like about like our own shows and our own music and all that. And, there's no more rules, There's really no right or wrong, guys, Everything only comes with respect, I think, in the end of the day, Oh,
absolutely. And when we come out of this, it's going to be completely different. I mean, there's nowhere around it. I mean, it's going to be completely different. And, nothing will be the same. We might never be able to go to another movie theater again. For all we know, we're going to see a resurgence of drive-in movie theaters. You might never be able to play inside of an arena again. You might only be able to do internet shows or, again, drive-in movie theaters, playing concerts at drive-in movie theaters. We don't know what's going to end up happening. So right now, like you said, this is the best time to create because, we can sit back and relax and just say, what can I do that's different from everybody else? Because I don't want to follow that path. I don't want to follow the same path as everybody else.
No.
And I'm glad that you're not following in those footsteps.
Not at all.
Dude, you're knocking down the walls and you're doing things that nobody else has ever done, which is fantastic.
Thank you. And you know what? It's not like I'm trying to do it like to impress. It's just, I just love doing it. I love to create. If I can't create, I get depressed, and I create really crazy. So it kind of would look like, hey, what's going on, whatever. But, my art is really, it means something, but in the same time, it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? So it's like up to you how you want to see it.
Correct. I mean, it's up for interpretation. You have your own meaning behind it, but you don't care if somebody else interprets it differently.
Exactly. Because, they have a right to say if they like it or they hate it or if they look at me bad for it or whatever. I had a lot of complaints about the Ghost Fuck when it came out originally, but then later those guys saw it on iTunes and everywhere else. They start loving it. It's just so funny. But
what were they complaining about it?
They're complaining like because the lyrics is kind of profanity a little bit, and it just I don't know. I think it was the lyrics mostly. But you know what? The lyrics is this free speech, and we could write songs like that. That's fine, because I don't know. I'll send you the lyrics later to check it out. But I'm just using it as an example, as like, it's funny that these people before was, hating on the song, but then the same exact people loving the song when it actually got above ground, So it's so they got the both feel out of it, That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And dude, again, you're doing some shit, like I said, that just I've never heard of before, and I dig it. And coming from that metal background that I come from, playing in bands and singing and playing guitar and shit like that, I have a deep appreciation for uniqueness, and you definitely bring that to the table.
Thank you. And it's very few of us left, but I want to recreate that for the new people, so it's like actually a real golden age right now. We're going, especially with the pandemic. So we could be like the new superstars or like the new Captain America or the comic book people, Yeah. So everyone has an alter ego side. Everybody. I don't care who says they don't. Even a mom has a double life, a father, anybody has a double life. And, some people, they don't like to show that other life. They put a mask on or whatever. Kind of reminds me of Gotham and comic books of DC. I'm a big DC comic book fan. And I think Gotham, the way it's like our city exactly, but it's a little different with the club kids and like whoever comes out with their mask. And then when they put that mask, they could really act themselves. But no, just take off the mask and still be who you are, it's fine, and it's cool that we want to introduce that to the new people, the new kids, because, right now I feel like the new kids are not like how we used to grow up, right?
No, definitely not.
And they're all like about like video games, which is cool. And they talk to all these friends and all that. But you know, they got to go out there a little bit, listen to some music, or like put some style on when they go to high school because they like this band or this era. I don't really see it that anymore, you know?
No, and see, that's actually one of the things that I'm actually doing over the next month and a half or so. Is I'm actually putting on a concert series right here on my show.
Nice.
To where 3 or 4 bands a week are going to come on and perform live and do a full set. Some of them are, some of them are nationally signed acts. Some of them are local unsigned acts. Just to, again, get people to experience something they may or may not listen to before. I'm not a big country guy, but I've got 2 country music artists coming on. I've got a rap artist coming on. I've got, a ton of, I got a folk band coming on, but I want my 20,000 listeners a day to be able to say, hey, this is cool. And I'm also trying to, again, since we can't go to fucking concerts, I'm trying to bring concerts home. But I didn't want to, when I sat down to do this, I didn't want to bring a whole bunch of rock because that wouldn't be fair to, my audience, because not everybody's a rock guy like I am. So I try to be as eclectic as possible because I want people to experience different types of music and see what else is out there. Instead of what you're just listening to on the radio on a daily basis, there's so much more. And I'm hoping that I can give them more.
And that's really cool. And, we need more radio station like that, by the way. So you're actually doing something really cool and bringing that out that it's not going on out anymore, but you put it in virtual, keeping it alive. I respect that. I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow I've got actually 2 bands coming on. So I got another another Jimmy Star band coming on, in a band called Trenched. They're going to open up the show tomorrow, and then the country music star after that. So it's like I got 2 different worlds going on tomorrow. It's going to be fucking cool as shit. And then, it's just a lot of stuff going on. So, I mean, I'm ecstatic for it, and I'm hoping that the people at home get to really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely let me know about it. Message me. I'd love to check it out.
Absolutely.
I'll promote it too.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm live 5 days a week, 8 to 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever it is. However long I can fucking talk before my voice goes. Because I like to hear myself talk, so I can talk a lot. But no, I mean, it's so I got a lot of shit going on. I got 3, like I said, 4 different bands this week, and then we'll see what happens next week. I got a bunch more coming up. So lots of cool shit. And,
that's awesome.
But same thing for you, bro. I mean, you've got a lot of cool shit going on, and I can't wait to see what else you do next.
Thank you so much, and I'll definitely let you know on like the new track that's coming up, and we'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, and I'll bring you back on the show. I mean, we can promote it the fuck out of it. I don't give a shit.
Vice versa, you show me these bands you got, and I could do a party for them in New York City. We got all the venues. We could book them in. And create, let's get all the artists together, bring the artists back. Let's make artists great again,
Absolutely. And that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, and luckily, I mean, I'm only in Virginia, so I'm not too far from you. And a lot of these bands that I'm bringing on are Maryland-based bands, so we're only 4 hours from you. So there's something that we could definitely do together to really help create things.
Make one big event for them, everyone, like an annual something. We'll talk.
I'm all about it, dude. Let's definitely talk about that.
Definitely.
But brother, I'm gonna tell you what, dude. It's been great getting to know you.
You too, man.
Dude, we will definitely chat again, bro.
Oh, absolutely. I had fun, and thanks for having me, man. This show is amazing. I love the name, by the way. It's awesome.
Well, the name actually isn't what you think it means.
I know what it means. Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought it was like up some questions or something.
Well, it's actually that's pretty much what it is. So
okay.
A lot of people get it confused with like, oh no, just go suck it. No. So it's actually a mental health thing. So when I was growing up, and even through the last couple of years, there was a stigma around men having mental health issues, and they always would say, oh, just suck it up. So now I was like, you know what? So now it's like, no, you tell me to suck it up. I'm going to tell you to suck it. And because that's not how it goes. I have to,
that.
So it's kind of like a fuck you to everyone who ever told me to suck it up.
I like that. I think maybe you should make like an intro of that or something. It'll be cool because it's so interesting to hear that. And it's true, when people's like, suck it, or, what I mean? And this show is cool. I like it. I dig it, man.
I appreciate that. But yeah, dude, you and I will definitely talk again soon.
Yes.
I'll hit you up on on DM, and I'll give you my number. We'll go ahead and talk more.
Yes, please do. And whenever you're in New York, you better hit me up. I'll take care of you.
Absolutely, brother.
All
right, man. You
Thanks
have a good
for
one.
watching, everybody, too, and hanging out and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you guys. And Jason, you have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk again soon, brother.
Thank you. You too, sir. Have a good night.
Man. Bye. All right, guys. That was fucking awesome. So we'll take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Guys, ever wonder how I get this manly beard looking so good? It's all because of Viking Revolution. And at Viking Revolution, not only can you get some great beard balms, but you can also get some great beard oils, as well as some awesome quick shower pads, which helps prevent you stanking up after the gym. Also, these great wet wipes, which help prevent, stanky after going doo-doo. And also some pomades and some other great products, all at Viking Revolution. So do yourself a favor, go to dcproductions.com/sponsors, click on the banner, and get yourself some of these great products. Viking Revolution. Join the revolution. All right, and we're back. So, that guy is fucking interesting, is cool, and cool as shit. I was not expecting that at all. Not, his style of music and his overall persona was not what I expected at all. And I'll tell you what, that guy is badass. So definitely check out his music. Just Google it on YouTube or whatever the case might be. Just look up Jason Chaos and listen to that song Ghost Fucked. It is not what you expect. It is quite the song. He says it's, horror pop. A lot of I think it still comes down to a lot of dark metal, black metal, but on a completely different level. It's really, 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 really cool. All right. So Friday, I did live on the air that cognitive test that Trump keeps boasting about. And I got a 12 out of 13 because I wasn't paying attention. I was zipping through it, just trying to prove a point. And I ended up proving a point, but at the same time, fucking up at the same time. But whatever. This motherfucker is continuing to talk about it. And the thing about it is that cognitive test does not mean what he thinks it means. And for anyone that's listening right now that still has no idea what we're talking about, this test is basically, it literally is a cognitive test. A cognitive test that basically tells you whether or not you have dementia or Alzheimer's, that you can function in daily life. This is not an IQ test. If it was an IQ test, there would not be a picture of a fucking lion and say, what is this? Really? That's what one of the questions was. If you watch the show on Friday, that's exactly what you will see. And he's still boasting about it. I mean, this guy is just losing his damn mind. And then the problem, it's starting to piss me off because he keeps lying and he keeps talking about how the whole thing is, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Just know that he's pissing me off. All right. So on to some movie and comic book shit. So I'm going to go ahead and read you an article from comicbook.com that talks about the movie New Mutants, which is going to be a movie that's coming out, supposed to be coming out this fall, but might not be. So there's a rumor going crazy that New Mutants, which is going to be the first X-Men movie released under the Disney banner, might be released on Disney Plus later this fall. Here's the problem. If that is the case, if they start putting these mutant movies or all these other movies on Disney Plus, being that it's Disney, no more rated R Marvel movies, which would fuck up the whole Deadpool franchise, would fuck up the whole X-Men franchise. Even though they're revamping the X-Men franchise, it could lead down a wormhole of disaster. But the thing about it is, at the same time, Disney owns Hulu. So, but I don't even know where they're going with this. But I mean, if it lands on Disney Plus, that would set a precedent where Marvel Studios could continue crafting properties in the vein of PG-13 horror, and they'd still be included on this new streaming platform. There wouldn't be a need to be a bump in property to Hulu, as many thought. Instead, Disney Plus could serve as a hub for horror-based Marvel characters adjacent to the projects like Blade and Moon Knight. So it's interesting because New Mutants is going to be a horror-based film. If you haven't heard about it yet, it's based upon a bunch of unknown, newer, characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that are mutants. And it's going to be horror-based. It's going to be very much different from anything else you've ever seen from the X-Men or anything else like that. And it's supposed to be rated R. But if it has to go on Disney Plus, will it continue to be rated R, or are they going to cut it and make it PG-13? We don't know. But then at the same time, our movies like Mulan and Black Widow going to even be put out this year, or they're going to go straight to Disney Plus, or are they going to go to video on demand first for $20? I mean, there's so much. I mean, this goes back to what Jason and I were talking about. This goes back to what I've talked to about a bunch of different people. What is the future of the entertainment business? Are we going to see a resurgence of the 50s with drive-in movie theaters? Are we going to see a resurgence of just stuff that we've never even thought about that used to be, that used to happen? Are we not going to be able to go to concerts anymore? Are we not going to be able to go to movies anymore? Are we really going to be stuck in this quarantine forever? And if we are, what does that mean for us? I mean, is the TV that you're watching me on, or the computer that you're watching me on right now, or the radio that you're listening to me on, the only way you're going to be able to get your entertainment? Or are we going to be able to come up with something new? The reality is, COVID isn't going anywhere, regardless of what the right side says, the red people, But whatever it is, we need to embrace it. We need to come full circle and say, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this and really take a watch and say, hey, there's a concert online tonight. I'm going to go spend that $9 and watch it. Or I'm going to spend that $10, $20 and to watch this movie that is only available on video on demand. Whatever the case might be, we need to be doing it. I talked about this before, but a really great band out of Orlando, nationally known act, a huge rock band named Trivium, just did a live concert on online 2 weeks ago. They charged $9 for it. You could watch it on your TV, watch it on your computer, watch it on your phone, whatever the case might be. And that was it. So, I mean, is that the way of the future? Possibly. Is that one of the reasons why I'm doing this concert series? And I sound like a 12-year-old boy there. Concert series, to help you adjust to that. Yeah, because we don't know what's going to be like. We might never be able to go see those concerts again. The concert tickets that I have for October 27th to go see Five Finger Death Punch, Papa Roach, and Ice Nine Kills, I might not be able to go see. But I would love for what I'm doing, what other people are doing, to say, hey, I like what he's doing over there. Now, I'm not saying that these big label acts are going to copy what I'm doing. They're thinking about it already. But to say, hey, look, there's proof of concept. Let's go ahead and do this. Because if I can't go see my show on October 27th, I still want to see Ice Nine Kills perform. I still want to see Papa Roach perform. I still want to see, Five Finger Death Punch perform. Because those Papa Roach and Five Finger Death Punch are not bands that I listen to on a normal basis. I'm not the biggest fan of them on the radio. But when they play live, it's a completely different sound, a completely different band. The interaction and shit like that is fucking unreal. I dig them as a live act. I'm not the biggest supporter of their, radio sound or whatever the case might be, or what they sound like in a studio. That's not to say anything that they're not that good at what they do. I just don't dig it. But what they do live is completely different, and I enjoy that. So I would love to be able to see that. But to think that on October 27th, I can't go do that, which has already been rescheduled twice, sucks. But for them to say, hey, why don't we go ahead and do this on YouTube? Or why don't we go ahead and do this on video on demand? And anyone that's bought a ticket gets free fucking access, or whatever the case might be. Something's got to give, whether it be Disney or, hold on. Jasmine, what do you ask me what I was expecting? What was I expecting from him, or what was I expecting in general? Because what I was expecting from him was just not what he gave me. That dude is just cool as shit. And I didn't know what to expect. That was the thing. And what he gave me was something completely different. I guess I just didn't know what to expect. Reading what I saw online and reading the articles that I've read about him, and then listening to his music, I didn't know what to expect of who he was. But I'm so fucking glad I got to talk to him, because I got to see the real side of him and know that he's fucking cool as shit. So that's my answer to that question. But good question. I wasn't really expecting anything. And that's why I say it wasn't what I was expecting, because I didn't know. So my mind was open. All I know is that he's cool as shit, and I definitely want to do something with that guy on some other things, because guy's fucking awesome. One of the best interviews I've had on this show, and one of the coolest fucking dudes I've had on this show. So if Jasmine, if you're still listening, you let him know I told you that. I have a feeling I know who you are. But anyway. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. For you guys that are listening to this, watching this right now, it's time to open up our eyes and ears to what's happening. If a movie production company says, oh, sorry, we're not going to go ahead and release this now. We're not going to release it on, in the theaters, because we can't. We're going to put it on, video on demand. Buy it. Especially if it was something you were going to go see anyway. Why? Yes, me and David talked about it last week. The experience is not the same. No, but we might never have that experience again. What I saw last year in Endgame, that experience that I saw inside the Alamo movie theater, getting to eat a fucking burger and watch my favorite movie of all time live on the big screen with surround sound and shit like that. I might never get to have that again. And then later that year, going to see Far From Home with, another, great Marvel movie that I might never get to see in theaters again. Yeah, we might not be able to do it. So maybe now's the time to go to fucking Best Buy or go to Walmart and get yourself that nice surround sound system. Get yourself that 65-inch TV, which, by the way, are fucking cheap as shit. You can get a 65-inch TV now for $600. So, you know, do what you got to do. But either way, whether it's Jason putting on a live show, whether it's me putting on a live show with all these bands, whether Five Finger Death Punch or Dr. Dre or Eminem or, you know, Metallica or whatever the case might be, or, you know, Disney putting out Mulan or Black Widow or The Eternals or that new movie Tenet by Warner Brothers, whatever the case might be. If it's out there, tackle it. Because that might be our newest way to be entertained. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen in a year from now. All I know is that we need to embrace what we have and make sure that these artists that are going out of their way to still give you content get the recognition they deserve. My throat is killing me, so I'm going to go upstairs, pop my pills, and take a fucking lozenge and probably go to sleep because I feel like shit. But I appreciate you guys so fucking much. Please come back tomorrow, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. West. 2 artists for tomorrow putting on live shows. We have the band Trenched out of Vegas, I believe. They will be on with an interview and a live performance. And then returning to do a live performance, Kimberly Dawn. I had her on about a month ago. So that is going to be fantastic. 2 different types of music, all in one place right here on Sucker Podcast. And then Wednesday, Kings of the Wild Things and legendary TV host Mickey Burns will be on. So that's just a little sample of what we got. If you want to know more, please click the link in the description, go to our Instagram page and see what else we got for you for the rest of this week. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe and all of that good shit. We appreciate everything you guys do. We appreciate you being here. Please come back and see us tomorrow with, again, Trenched and national country star, Kimberly Dawn. But until then, I wish you nothing but love. Peace.